Today, the tobacco industry faces one plain and inescapable fact. Like any business, a tobacco company's survival depends on keeping old customers and getting new ones. But tobacco companies face a problem that other enterprises don't.
Every day, 2,000 Americans stop smoking. Another 1,100 also quit. Actually, technically, they die.
The tobacco industry's products kill about 500,000 of its customers in the United States every year. But that's not the industry's only problem. Smoking is becoming less socially acceptable. Communities are making their restaurants and workplaces smoke-free. Neighborhoods are getting rid of cigarette ads on billboards. People are objecting to tobacco sponsorship of public events. All this is creating a climate that is hazardous to the health of the tobacco industry. Tobacco executives are painfully aware that they're losing customers and losing ground. In an attempt to reverse these trends, the tobacco industry is waging two wars. One you know about, and a hidden war. Although most people still don't know about this hidden war, more and more details are coming to light by means of once secret industry documents, as well as former tobacco insiders who want the truth to be known. For years, Vic DeNoble was a researcher at Philip Morris. He has inside knowledge about the tobacco industry and its hidden war.
This industry will do anything for its bottom line. I mean, look at what it's done. It's gone after kids. It's hidden research. It's hired bogus researchers. It's fronted organizations like the Tobacco Research Council to refute credible scientific research. Now they've gone to the public and we've said, no, leave us alone. We don't want you doing this. So where did they go? They went to Congress. Why? Big friends, big money.
The tobacco industry's hidden war is just that, something most people don't see. Tobacco companies are using four main tactics. Front groups that are supposed to look like grassroots organizations, harassment of public health departments, interference with federal, state, and local tobacco legislation, and attempts to mislead the public about the health effects of tobacco smoke.
The tobacco companies know that they have no credibility with the public, with the press, or with politicians. And so they can't appear as the tobacco industry. And so what they do is they've created a wide network of front groups, phony organizations, and public relations outlets to hide behind and try to make it look like there was public opposition to tobacco control, when in fact there isn't.
There are several groups that the tobacco industry has organized within the state of California. There's the California Business and Restaurant Alliance. There are several bar and tavern associations. There's the Northern California Tavern Association, the San Diego Tavern Association. And a lot of times, some of these names will change over time, but the thrust is always the same. They try to take the local business community to carry their message because, of course, the city council is going to be very concerned about what's going to happen in their community. And if they hear from the voices in their community, albeit those voices that have been trained by the tobacco industry, it carries much more weight and credibility.
They have to have front people that are more acceptable to the rest of the state, or they're not going to get anywhere. They have created a front group called the National Smokers Alliance. It's sponsored by the Philip Morris Company. Its sole job is to appear to be a grassroots organization. It claims to have 3 million members nationwide and 300,000 members in the state of California. Ostensibly a grassroots organization just swelling up out of nowhere of smokers that are outraged by this law. And nothing could be further from the truth. The classic deception was a letter that I received on January 5th of 1998. The detail that most sticks out in my mind is the emphasis they put in the sample letter that they gave to me, telling my state legislator immediately that the smoke-free workplace, the smoke-free bar law was hurting business. And since the law had only been in effect for 5 days, the packet had been mailed on the 5th of January, I knew that there was no way that the National Smokers Alliance or anybody could know what possible impact this was going to have on businesses and bars in the state. So it was a classic case of deception.
I've been working on this issue for 20 years, and I've never yet found a genuine grassroots organization of smokers or anyone else opposed to a tobacco control ordinance. They all claim to be just a group of concerned citizens, and sooner or later the patina is peeled back and you find out it was organized and financed by a cigarette company or the Tobacco Institute or one of their public relations firms.
Why would any organization need a front group unless it was to fool the public? A hidden camera provides the answer.
Politicians will not listen to you if they think all you are is a mouthpiece for the tobacco companies. Your only prayer is being independent, appearing independent, and for that reason we don't get directly involved with organizing you guys.
But the tobacco industry does get directly involved in funding its front groups, like the National Smokers Alliance. Here's Mike Hambrick, Senior Vice President of the National Smokers Alliance. He's speaking on WGAN Radio, Portland, Maine, to co-host Willie Rich.
You guys call yourself a grassroots organization, and I have a problem with that.
Why do you have a problem with that?
Well, I mean, where do you get your funding, for example?
We have 51 contributors to the National Smokers Alliance, and we have 3 million members, many of which pay dues. Our dues memberships are $10 for 1 year and $15 for 2 years. But we do receive, and we're very upfront about this, we do receive contributions from 3 tobacco companies.
Percentage-wise, how much of your money would you say actually comes from your members' dues?
I don't really know, and if I did know, I probably wouldn't share it with you because we, like any other organization, don't make our budgetary facts known.
But wait a minute, I do know. I mean, this was according to the IRS, last year 6% of your funding came from members' dues, and 94% came from other sources like, for example, Philip Morris.
Philip Morris would like for us to believe that the National Smokers Alliance is a grassroots organization of smokers. The fact of the matter is that Philip Morris has poured millions of dollars into the National Smokers Alliance to make them appear to be a smokers' rights group. What they really are is AstroTurf. They're a bunch of public relations firms, highly paid professionals, hired to spin the argument and make it appear that there isn't support for smoke-free ordinances, when in fact the majority of the population doesn't smoke and most people prefer and want smoke-free environments.
Tobacco industry front groups are easy to spot. If a group is against clean indoor air ordinances, or in favor of what it calls smokers' rights, but at the same time claims that it's grassroots, just find out where its money comes from. The money trail eventually leads back to the tobacco industry.
Forces is a relatively new smokers' rights organization. They started out just as a small group in San Francisco, California, where they've spent an inordinate amount of time harassing the local health department, really diverting them from doing the work that they are paid and what their mission of the health department is to do, which is to protect public health.
Forces is what I believe to be a tobacco industry front group, and the acronym stands for Fighting Ordinances Restricting, Controlling, and Eliminating Smoking. Forces has really interfered with any program that the Tobacco Free Project was implementing, whether it was related to secondhand smoke, whether it was youth access to tobacco products, like publicizing the phone number to call in complaints related to illegal sales to minors, or whether it was activities related to countering pro-tobacco influences, like trying to reduce tobacco advertising. So they've really tried to affect every single one of our major priority areas in our program.
What we've found over time is that Forces has a lot of ties with the American Smokers Alliance and other smokers' rights groups also formed, financed, paid for by Philip Morris and the tobacco industry in general.